Hey, in this video, I'm going to do a quick recap of the May 14th State of Illinois EXP State Meeting. So we started off with just talking about reminders of how to get support. So if you need to go to the broker room, you can just go to, the link exp.world up here, /IL broker room. And there's also the phone number here that you can call for direct support. They're saying that to make sure when you go into the room to stay in the browser. Sometimes a lot of times people get sidetracked apparently, and then the broker is calling on them and don't realize it, and the support session doesn't go that well. So a refresher on that. Other best practices to contact the state broker. You got information. My name is Tony Anczer. I'm with eXp Realty in Illinois and Indiana. I'm part of the eXp, the Agent Wolfpack group, and you can check the link below to learn more about our group and how awesome it is and all that good stuff that you get with our group, Mastermind Calls, resources, training, events, all that stuff, personal access to me and my training and coaching, along with my uplines. So check that out, and the links below. You could book a call directly to discuss exploratory call with eXp also. Information on this screen. I have a workplace chat as always. They got the general 888 number for if you just have a call and you don't remember, like, who am I supposed to ask this, or you're out and about and you just need something answered directly. You could call the 800 number, but it's .888 number. Reminder about all signature requests, where to send those for contracts. So you got the il.sign@exprealty.net for where to send stuff for signatures, and then for actual support you go to il.broker@exprealty.net for the managing broker on duty. There's a reminder about for Illinois text blasts to make sure you unblock this 833 number here. They send out the weekly reminders on state meetings and other items of note. May 21, there's this unconscious bias class that's going on in the eXp world. On the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month in the Illinois Auditorium at 10 is the Illinois Sky Slope Forms Templates class, and that's a great class. Helps you save time on writing contracts. I actually need to go through this one again on how to, when you have your listing forms, or you got all these different spots where you drag signatures in, and so with the templates, that will help that, because it will put signature blocks and things in place, and then also let you know where to get the various forms, because I even find myself sometimes like, where do I get this form? Is it my MLS or is it in SkySlope? These are the different Illinois Association of Realtors that have their templates in SkySlope. So Steve was saying that if you don't see your group in there, harass them a little bit to make them get their information to eXp so they can put it in SkySlope as a template. There's a refresher on the templated single-page buyer's agent contract, and with that was just a reminder on, we're starting real soon, that you need to have your buyer broker agreements in place before showing properties to make sure you're guaranteed your commission at closing. So we have this in SkySlope, and feel free to reach out if you need that. So it can be for a property specific, so there can be either a specific house or properties, and then they have like a length of agreement here, so you can tailor this a bit. It's pretty flexible, but that's the one to have. This is pretty important, as we know too, so exclusive buyer presentation agreement, or representation agreement, not presentation. And so if you're working with a buyer that wants to go beyond just a property to property agreement and wants you to be your exclusive buyer representation, which is what we mostly all want, this is the form for that. Also note, when you're using one of these guys, you need to have the Consumer's Guide to Real Estate Agency Illinois also provided to your buyer. This is another hot topic, and just things that we all need to learn about the new way of doing business, is the rider to listing agreement. And this is the rider. So as we know, in the new listing agreements, there is not the section where we put in the buyer broker service fee. So with this rider to listing agreement, we now have a spot where we can just write it straight in there, because again, that whole NAR lawsuit was about alleged non-transparency as to basically making, or sellers reported making them pay for the buyer broker. So this spells it out specifically so that there's no question about that. And yeah, so I talked about that already. Again, for SkySlope forms, a reminder that in the libraries we have that single property buyer agency agreement and the exclusive buyer representation agreement. So that's where you can find all that in SkySlope forms. Yeah, this slide, Steve just talked about we just got through license renewal. So hopefully you got your CE in and renewed. If not, that's not a fun process to go through to take your class and license test again. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out on if you didn't renew and need to figure out what to do. Then we got into calendar events coming up. Coming up on May 16th is going to be a follow-up to the last NAR settlement and buyer agency. Yeah, so this is the follow-up to the previous, the first training on this. They know that first training came out when things were really fresh. So now that a little time has gone by, eXp has additional information on the NAR settlement. And so if you missed the first one, this one, you probably don't need to watch the first one. This will include everything that was covered in the first one and then the latest stuff as I understand it. The next eXp Illinois team meeting is May 28th in the broker world here. You just log in with your eXp credentials, or if you aren't with eXp and you would like a member, like a couple day pass, a guest pass as we call it, feel free to reach out to me and I can get you that so you can experience what it's like. Also on training, we got the icon-led classes for Illinois specifics. We've got that in the first and third Tuesday at 9 a.m. And again, if icon is new to you with eXp, those are people that have capped, so they've exceeded their so they've reached their cap on the 80-20 split 16 cap, and then have done 20 additional transactions for the year, or there's a couple other ways to cap too. But those people become icons, and so those people know what they're doing, and so they share their knowledge here at these Icon Insights. So on May 21 is Peyton Blaylock on social media and you, and Lee Ernst. I've actually referred some work to Lee in the Naperville area for doing commercial deals as a residential agent. I'm actually excited to listen in on that one. And all right, did you miss it on Tuesday? Best practices on next steps with the buyers in a seller's zero compensation world. So that class was just held, so you can check that in the recordings. And also with the guest pass, you'll be able to access that too. All right, new to eXp orientation every Monday at 2 p.m. and then SkySlope 101 at 3:30. So those are great for new agents. If you haven't taken any new agents, you have to. eXp offers so much. It's like, as we always say, walking into a buffet, and that will let you know what the buffet is so you can figure out what you want to focus your meal on. eXpCon is in Orlando this year. As you probably know, it's usually in Las Vegas. So those are the dates. You can register, and there's a hotel room blocks are open. All right, when you talk to eXp World Holdings, good news that revenue increased 11%. And so if you want to freeze frame this and read in the details, go for it. But the eXp agent account actually decreased by 2%. And what was interesting is that transactions increased by, I think it was 6% or 8%. It's in here somewhere. The agent count went down a bit, and it wasn't too unexpected with the new buyer representation agreement coming out, how that whole process, and the NAR settlement. So it's not surprising, but what's interesting is that the agent count went down and transactions went up. So that just tells us that it's the non-performing agents that are the ones that got out of the business recently. Yeah, so Q1 earnings, we got 12% increase in transaction volume, 11% increase in revenue for the quarter one. That's almost $1 billion for the quarter, which is pretty cool. All right, Q1 earnings. Yeah, increase of 8% transaction growth year over year, 5% increase in market share in Q1 2024. And Steve just gave a reminder that, there's a lot of other brokerages popping up that are having great claims. A lot of them are not publicly traded. So what's really happening behind the curtain is not always known. And just a reminder that eXp is publicly traded. So all our books and all that stuff is open. So when you hear data from eXp, it's vetted, which was just a good reminder. I kind of forgot about that. So the new revenue share toolkit is here at this link. And if you know about RevShare, and it's just some pretty crazy, awesome changes. I don't want this video to be super long, but yeah, so RevShare payments now increased to agents. There's now that pay now. You used to have to wait till it's like the third Friday of the month to get paid out. Now you can get paid in real time. So as agents you brought in have transactions and closings, you can get your rev share basically as soon as the close, like right after the day or so after the closing happens. You can hit the pay now button in my EXP. There's the FLQA reductions, and yeah, so you used to have your 4, 9, and 13 numbers are escaping me agents on each tier to fully unlock, and so that's gone away for the first 3 tiers, which is pretty amazing. So this is the slide that goes into that. So it just says that to unlock your first 3 tiers, you no longer have to have any FLQAs. So that is now unlocking, which is providing tons of additional revenue to agents that maybe maybe they brought in one agent who brought in 20 agents that they weren't really getting paid off of the third line much. Now that's gone away, so that requirement's gone away, so now they're getting fully paid for people on the 3rd tier, which is awesome. But once you hit once you hit the 4th tier, you then have to have 5 FLQAs, so that is still there. Already talked about that. RevShare bonus. Yeah, that's pretty neat too. I didn't understand that until today. So basically, it's in your downline of agents that if somebody is out, like somebody left EXP or whatnot and would otherwise be due a rev share payment, then that now goes into a bonus pool. Or if somebody is not built out, doesn't hit their FLQA count in order to open up some of the later levels, then that money that would otherwise not be funded, now that goes into a bonus pool. So how much of a bonus you get is not a linear calculation, because it depends how full the downline upline is and all that good stuff, but that's just another way EXP is putting more money into agents' pockets. Monday, June 17th is the White Deer Run Golf Club golf outing. It's open to all agents, they said too, so it's not just EXP agents. When you're talking about marketing materials, if these are the logos that are to be used, the new updated ones, and you can get that information here. And then if you need to have some marketing review, you can have that done from the EXP marketing team. Deposit link is now the new earnest money process, and it's the only option for EXP. As always, you could have your title company or your attorney hold earnest money, but EXP, this is now the only way they're doing it. So there's no longer checks that can be mailed in, etc. And the EFT process or ACH, see, I always say that backwards. The ACH process, they're saying, is pretty quick. Like if a deal falls apart, you need to get money back to people. It's within like 48 hours, 2 business days, which is pretty cool. This was a reminder about the not really new requirement, but just solidifying that price changes need to be in writing, and that we do have you can use the state broker form or the EXP template cost adjustment form. You can use it for other items too, but it's a quick 1-pager when you need to update the price of a listing. You have your seller sign that, and then the managing broker too. All right, so the reminder, disclose your licensee status if you're buying or selling personally, and this is what you could use the EXP form. It says of disclosure of personal interest, and it was basically saying just make sure you have the jargon of John Smith, licensed real estate broker in Illinois. And the last item here is just been one really recap after this, is that EXP has a free do not call registry called Dial Safe. So if you wanted to scrub the numbers you were calling against it, that's a free resource EXP